Today we are in the second part, or I can say the last part of chapter number 13, decision structure. Now be 100% sure that 10 mark practical question will be asked from this chapter. So try to study and understand whatever I am teaching in this chapter. Now in the previous chapter we had seen the simple if else nesting of if, this all things we had seen. Now here the first thing which we are going to see is else if ladder statement. What is the meaning of else if ladder statement? There is another way of using many if statements together when we want to evaluate multiple decisions. Okay, just now I will explain you with an example. So in case where you don't want to give the answer by just taking one decision, but when you want to check multiple conditions and according to the fulfillment of different conditions you want to give different output, in that circumstances you can use else if ladder. When chain of if statements are used in else, that is false block of nested if statements, it becomes else if ladder statement. Remember this sentence for the MCQ. Then the next thing is let us understand it with an example. Just now I was telling you when you want to check multiple conditions and according to that you want to give the result. So for that we take this example. Let us use this else if ladder statement to give the class, that is grade of students based on given subject's mark. We will follow the grading rules given in table 13.1 during our program. Here the first condition will be if the marks, the student's mark is between 70 and 100, then they should get first class with distinction. So when the student enters the mark, if it is 70, between 70 to 100, output what we have to give is first class with distinction. Then if the marks entered are between 60 to 69, then you have to give the output first class. If the marks entered are between 50 to 59, you have to give the second class, and so on. So here, according to different conditions, different outputs are to be given. So that will solve practically. Before that, I'll just try to understand the syntax of this thing. Now the syntax is like this way. First is normally starting with if. You put the first test expression or condition, whatever you can tell it, call it test expression or condition, whatever. So first you have to put first test expression here. If that condition becomes true, then you give the means whatever statement block you have typed here, that part will be executed. And if this condition becomes false, then else if part will be executed. Here you have put second condition. In our example we can put here the condition if marks are greater than or equal to 60 and what was the thing, let me see, greater than or equal to 70 and less than or equal to 100, then first class with distinction. Else if the marks are between 60 to 69, that will come in second test expression, then print first class. Then here will come if that condition also becomes false, then the third condition, third expression you can put here. So like this way you can go on checking different conditions, and according to that you can go on giving the different outputs. And finally you can also put a else here. Else default statement block. That means suppose if the marks are entered instead of marks, alphabets are entered, or something else is entered what you don't want, then you can put it in default. Now we'll just have a look at the flow chart before doing this thing practically. The first thing is entry, that student will enter his marks. Then test condition 1, is the marks greater than 70 and less than 100? If yes, okay, so this is test condition. If the condition becomes true, the true part will be executed, that is first class with distinction. else if the condition becomes true, that thing will be executed and program will get over, exit. If that condition doesn't become true, then the false part will be executed. In false part, whatever condition, whatever test expression you have put, that will be executed. Okay, and whatever answer you have given first class, so that will be the answer and the program will get over, and so on till the expression is fulfilled. It will go on. Okay, and finally the program will come to an end. Now let us do this thing practically. So first I will do the documentation, that is program 2. Else if ladder. Here also we will need to include only 2 files, that is Studio and Conio. Rest of the files are not required here. Now first thing we do is clear the screen. Clear screen, CLR. And then we ask the user to enter his marks. So for that we put a printf. Or first we have to declare a variable, right, to store the marks. So I declare a variable integer marks. Fine, now printf. Enter your marks. Then we scan the mark using scanf function. Fine, this process is over, and now we start the main part of the program, that is else if ladder. So first condition which we have to check is if the marks are greater than, means marks are between 70 and 100, right? We want to check the first condition. So here I put marks are greater than or equal to 70. Very simple thing. If marks are greater than or equal to 70. Oh my god, what thing is happening? The numeric keypad is creating the problem. So I use this number from here. Okay. Now I do not need to specify that the marks should be less than or equal to 100. It is implied. Marks will not be more than 100. That is the matter of common sense. So I put only one condition here. Okay. So if the marks are greater than or equal to 70, that is between 70 to 100, we put a printf, that is first class with distinction.
Okay, now if the marks are between, next condition is if the marks are between 60 and 69. So to check this thing, we put an else if here, else if, I have to leave space in between, else if marks greater than or equal to, what shall I put here, 60. Now here, do I need to put that less than 70? Just try to think upon it and answer me. Or I have to only put greater than or equal to 60? The answer is I do not need to specify that less than 70. If it is less than 70, then only this statement has become false and we have come here. If they were greater than 70, then already we would have given this printf, that is first class distinction. So remember this thing. Fine. So here we give the output or printf, that is first class. Fine. Now third condition, if the marks are greater than or equal to 50, then second class. Greater than or equal to 50 means what? That less than 60 means 50 to 60. Else if, now the last condition, no, still past class is left. That condition is between 40 to 50. So I put here marks greater than or equal to 40. Then printf past class. And fine. Else, now here we don't need to put any condition. The last condition is if the student is getting marks between 0 to 39. Okay, so here he has not been able to get marks up till 40 also. That means he is getting less than 40. That is, it is already clear that it is 39 or below 39. So here I don't need to put another else if. Here straight away I have to type else and then printf fail. Clear? And now I put a get ch and complete the program. Now I compile the program and check whether it is okay. Yeah, success. Now I run the program. Enter your marks. So first I enter the marks between 70 to 100. I enter the marks 89 and check what happens. Yes, so it is giving the correct output, first class with distinction. Now I check the another condition by entering the marks between 60 to 69. Just check 60 to 69. So I enter 65 marks or 67 marks, first class. So it's working. Now I don't need to check all the conditions. Last condition I check, that is between 0 to 39. Okay. So I enter the marks as 20. Fail. Right? So like this way is the working of else if.
Now something similar to this thing only is a switch statement. Now we have used the if else statement for selection of various statements, for selection of various statement blocks during the program execution. However, when we use number of if-else statement, then our program becomes more complex. It becomes difficult to read and understand the logic of the program. So there is a much more simple way to solve the same type of task, which is the switch statement. Now in the switch statement, to simplify our programs, yes, that is what I told you just now. To simplify our program, the C language has offered the built-in facility of multi-way decision statement called switch. When an action is to be taken based on given multiple choices, switch statement is very useful. Now here you can see the syntax of the switch statement. Now here, first thing is switch into bracket expression, okay, and then here you have to put the values, and according to the values you have to put the statement block which is to be executed. Now I will explain you with an example. Now if you have prepared a program that enter 1 for chocolate, enter 2 for strawberry, enter 3 for vanilla, means different flavors, then first thing what you will do is you will store that 1, 2, 3 whatever the user enters, that you will store in a variable, right? So that variable name you have to write here in the expression, okay. Switch into bracket the name of the variable where you have stored the value. In the previous example we had stored the marks of the students. Here we store the choice of the user. Then here case 1 value. See, remember the syntax: case space value hyphen 1 colon. You have never used these colons, right? Fine. Then here statement block. What statement block we will write here? Printf your choice is chocolate, and break. Break means yes, this statement is executed. Now you don't need to execute all the statements, straight away exit the program. Break means that thing, break the program and come out. Now if the user has not entered 1 and he has entered 2, okay, then you have to type here case value hyphen 2. If the value of the expression is 2, then statement block 2, that is your choice is what had we given, strawberry for example, and then break, and so on, like that way. Now default, what is the default part? That the user have not entered any value from 1, 2, 3, 4, he has entered 15, then you put a default statement here that my dear, you have entered something else, that thing is not available here, get lost, okay, and then break. So this is very useful in writing many of this type of programs. Now syntax of switch statement is entry expression value is equal to 1, then execute this statement and then exit the program. Switch statement, if the expression value is 2, then execute statement block 2 and end the program, and so on. So this is much more simple. So here we no, I will not complete the chapter, but I will practically explain you this thing with an example.
So here I have already typed the program and kept it ready to explain you the switch statement. Program to illustrate the use of switch statement: include studio.h, include conio.h, void main, clear screen. Right? Now here I have declared a integer variable choice, int space choice. Now I give a printf that enter 1 for chocolate. I can put a slash n here, then it will look proper. Enter 1 for chocolate, 2 for strawberry, and 3 for vanilla. So if the person enters 1, you have to give the printf as chocolate. If he enters 2, you have to give the output as strawberry, and if he enters 3, you have to give the output vanilla, and he enters anything else than 1, 2, 3, then you have to give you have entered a wrong choice. So how shall we solve this program? First we will scan the value. So we use the scanf function, scanf %d, %m choice. Now we start the switch statement, switch into bracket the name of the variable wherein we have entered the value, or we have stored the value which the user has entered, which is stored in the variable choice, right? So switch choice. Now curly bracket opens. Inside under this switch statement you have to open a curly bracket. Case 1. Case 1 means what? That if the choice is 1, then what would you like to do? So case 1 colon. See, here there is not semicolon, it is colon. Printf chocolate. After printing chocolate you want to end the program, so you give a break here, break. Then case 2, that if the user enters 2, then printf, give the printf as strawberry. Okay, and then you end the program by adding a break. Case 3, if the user enters 3, then printf vanilla. Again give a break and end up the program. And default means if he enters, and after default also remember you have to put colon, not semicolon. If he enters something else, then printf, you have entered a wrong choice. And then don't forget to close this curly bracket. Okay, then get ch and curly bracket. Now before I run the program, I would like to tell you one thing. In the beginning of the video also I told that 10 marks question, practical question will be asked in the final exams from this chapter. So kindly practice this thing. And just now in the end of the video I will give you a question to be solved yourself, and I will also explain you how to solve that question. But before that, first we will find the solution of this program. So I compile the program, success. Now I run the program. Enter 1 for chocolate, 2 for strawberry and 3 for vanilla. Now I enter 1. Okay. So answer is chocolate. Fine. Now another time I run the program and I enter 5. Then what will it give? You have entered a wrong choice. I press the enter key. Right? So this thing is working properly. Okay. Now the next thing is what you have to do is, on your own you have to write a program in which you have to ask the user to enter a character. This time it is not a number, remember, it is a character to be entered. And from the character which the user enters, you have to specify whether it is a vowel or not. So how will you solve this problem? I will explain you. Here instead of integer, you will declare a character variable. Then here you have to give the name of the variable. Then here it will be the same, switch, name of the variable. But here instead of 1, what it will be? It will be a vowel, that is A or E or I or U. So first you can keep A, but remember when you keep A, you are taking it as an alphabet character and not as a number, so you will have to mention A like this way. Please remember that thing, otherwise you will make mistake. You have to give single quote before and after A. If it works without that, then check, I don't know. Fine. Then in case 2 you can give alphabet B, A, then E. Then here you can give I. Then case, instead of case 4, A, E, I, O, then U. So it will become 5 case. And in each printf you will have to give it's a vowel. Okay. Then suppose if this 5 places you have taken capital A, E, I, O, U, capital vowel, then again you will have to create another 5 cases with small letters A, E, I, O, U, because user may enter anything, capital letters or small letters. So it will create 10 case instead of 3. And then default statement is printf it's not a vowel. So if it is not coming in this vowel, then it's not a vowel. Fine, so we complete this video over